Hello, everyone. I'm Sheldon Barlett Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. I have a wonderful guest to share with all of you. I'd like for him to introduce himself, his first and last name, and the name of the business.
Hey, my name is Rashad Davenport, and the name of my business is Suave Media Co., and we pretty much specialize for Suave Magazine.
Oh, okay. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk about, because you guys have been hearing, I chat about BQ, AQ, what that kind of looks like. But during this time, I want to talk about the content you guys are creating, learn more about what you guys are publishing, what you guys are putting out into the world. Before we get into our thoughts on larger things, let's talk about your core business. What types of things are you putting out right now?
Basically, what we do is it's everything that revolves around men's lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of entertainment that we do because you have to have what John Johnson, who was the founder and publisher of Ebony Magazine,
Yeah.
he said you have to have a mix of orange juice and cod liver oil to get kids to take the medicine. So our orange juice is, the entertainment stories, our feature stories, things like that. Then the cod liver oil are finance stories. When we get into justice pieces, when we get into the depth of relationships between, like men and their kids, men and their parents, men and their spouses. A lot of the stuff that men harbor
Yep.
and we don't really like converse about. We go to barbershops and talk sports and cars and music all day long. But if it comes up a conversation about, my kids, my wife, child support, we're like, all right, so I got to go to the store and pick up dinner. It's there's conversations that we want to have, and it's just been made so uncomfortable for men to expose feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
That it's hard for those conversations to happen. So we use the magazine to not only encourage the conversations, but actually start them.
Ah, I absolutely love that because there's so many conversations that need to be had, and men are in that forefront of those conversations. So to make
Right.
them allowed to be vulnerable, right, and allowed to come to it with an authentic opinion, I think is a true, true gift that you're giving out into the world. In that
Yeah,
space, you
thank
touched
you.
on a number of course, a number of different topics that you would be able to see. The orange juice and the cod liver
Mhm.
oil, right? And being able to
Right.
make that make
Right.
sense. What is the mix between the two? Is it an even mix of both? You know,
Um,
yeah, let me know.
we typically push at most 60-40, like 60% orange juice.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's 70-30. Because we don't want to feel like we're being real preachy and like telling
Sure.
men what to go do.
For sure.
We want them to be encouraged while being entertained.
Yes.
So even with those hard conversations, we're still doing it in a fun way. So we'll have an interview with someone and it's like hard hitting stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like we find ways to laugh in that as well.
Oh,
So while we're talking about, the difficulties of childhood growing up, we'll throw in there like one of the joys of, growing up in difficult childhoods. Like
mm,
who knew flipping on dirty mattresses was a part of poverty? Like you just thought that that was the mattress that was outside and you can go outside and jump on it.
yes.
It didn't feel like poverty until you became old enough to know that we
Mm,
were poor.
right. Right.
And it's having those conversations, but then again understanding that there are long lasting effects of things that happen when we're younger.
Right.
So especially for men, like we just again we deal with a lot and then we get to a point where we're adults
Yeah.
and we don't know how to channel emotions because we were never allowed to.
Right, right.
So
And in that, I want to touch base because by nature, I can just tell and an understanding and being familiar with what you publish, the art of storytelling and the
yeah,
importance in telling the story, whether it be in a way in which they can literally digest it or in
yeah.
the truth and most authentic voice that you can provide to it. How important do you think it is, especially in this day and age, to be an authentic storyteller?
I think that's the basis of my magazine.
Yeah.
That's where we're separate from other magazines. It's I have to have a feeling about the interviews that I'm doing or the things that are going in the magazine. They have to give me like that feeling. Like certain feature stories give me butterflies and I love it. It takes me days to write a story at times.
Yes.
But it's important for me to make sure that that person's voice comes through and it's not my voice talking about them.
Ooh.
So it's so I think if my editors, they hate me. If I'm writing a story, it's my magazine, but if I'm writing a story,
Right.
they hate me. It's like, all right, I got a 500 word one coming up, and I send it over. It's like, okay, so it's like 3,800 words. And I apologize,
Like, yeah, no, ooh.
but all this was important. So let's just take some other stuff out and
Yeah,
just
right.
like leave all this in there.
Um,
Um, but it's extremely important to not only one, be yourself,
yeah,
but allow people to have their voice without you controlling their voice. Because if you said it, you said it, and that's what you meant.
and
And if you're uncomfortable with what you said afterwards, I can deal with that. But what I never want you to do is say, I didn't say that, and that's not what I meant.
mm,
No, my transcription services are amazing. This is exactly what you said. So fortunately, I've never had that problem. Everyone has always loved their articles, and they feel, again, like it's them talking to an audience.
yeah, and giving people a voice. I mean, I think that there's, you know, I posted something earlier today, and Oprah, my girl, has said it multiple times, but there's really nothing more powerful than being seen and being heard in your most authentic way. And it sounds like you do this for the subjects that you write upon as well, and in the interviews,
Right.
and giving them that platform in order to be seen and heard, you know, through their own words, with the support of you and your editors. Is that true?
Yeah, because especially again as Black men, specifically, we rarely get a podium,
Yeah.
unless we're talking about something that is widely accepted culturally. Again,
Yeah.
music, sports,
Yeah.
and then working out. If we're talking about that, we're fine.
Right.
If we start talking about, politics, racism, frustrations at home, what it feels like being a man, frustrations at work, dealing with anxiety, dealing with stress, it's like, all right, you doing too much. So
Yeah.
y'all be quiet and just like.
Right.
And the big thing now is, you say to somebody like, I'm stressed out, like, oh, this is going on, that's going on. Oh, go to the gym and work out.
Right.
That doesn't fix your problems.
It doesn't fix
So
your problem.
now you're gonna be real strong and stressed out.
Right. You're
So
gonna be
it,
true. You're
we
gonna be
have to,
real fit, but no problems have adjusted at all. Right.
right, mentally destroyed, but you look great.
Right.
Like, you look amazing.
That's not okay. That's not okay. I heard so much goodness in everything that you just said, primarily not only focusing on the subjects, of course, and obviously putting out a really great, you know, series of content, but that
Mhm.
you're putting out all of that content for the reader. Let's talk about
Right.
how important your audience is, how important your readers are to what it is that you build and produce and publish.
It's paramount.
Yeah.
Um, for the person we're interviewing, it's giving them the ability to have a voice. For the people who are reading it, it's saying there's so much more to you than what people are telling you there is. So while we get thrown these small areas of life at us,
For sure.
it's like there's so much more expansion. And I tell people, for myself, I moved to Atlanta from Los Angeles by way of New York, by way of Philadelphia, by way of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. A lot of jumping around.
Right. Right. Right.
um, but when I moved here, it was the first time that I saw the level of Black excellence that I've seen.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I've never been exposed to it. I never knew it was happening.
Right.
So, and I'm in my 30s,
Yeah.
and in my 30s, I come down here and I sit in amazement multiple times because it feels like everyone that's here owns their own business, or everyone owns a house, everyone owns land. And you come from the
Yeah.
Northeast, it's like, okay, so you rented this house for a while, somebody might own a house, no one has land. Like, that's just not happening. If you're in New York, you pass down apartments from
Yeah.
generation to generation. So it's important to expose
Mm.
just like the boundaries of life and let people know, like, you don't have to be born, grow up, live, and die in the same city. It's a huge country. There's a huge world. Travel, meet different people. Like, I can listen to Jay-Z all day long and then turn on Lady Gaga in the car and rock out.
Yeah.
It's saying, like, you don't have to have the constraints of what society tells you are. And then it's really showing them that.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I say something over and over again. You don't know what you don't know. And
Right.
without being exposed, without publications like yours, without your content, people could easily be linear or siloed within their own space. But because
Hmm.
you use your voice and your platform so responsibly in order to share the uniqueness of who these gentlemen are, as well as what the opportunities are, I know that they are better for it. So I want to make sure that more people know about you today than yesterday. I want to make
I
sure that they
appreciate
can
that.
follow, fan, and like you. Where would they find that information?
Everything for us is on social media. It's all under Suave Magazine. Suave is SUAVV. And then our website is www.suave.com.
Okay. Well, then there's no excuse, my friends. You must follow, fan, and like my new
Yes.
friend. Thank you so much for joining me.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Okay, so much great information. You must follow Finn and like everything he's got going on. Quality content distributed to people to be able to give them and expose them to what is happening in a balanced life. From all of us here at This Is It TV, I'm Sheldon Bartlett Rumor, and we will see you soon. Take care.